Our story begins with Rain, a member of the Heroes Party, which is a group of people destined to defeat the Demon Lord. However, Rain is fired and kicked out of the Heroes Party for being too weak and useless. Because he can't fight, he constantly needs to be saved by other members of the party, and all he can really do with his Beast Tamer abilities is make animals carry gear or scout the surrounding areas. After being fired, Rain thinks back to his time spent with the Heroes Party and realizes that they've always hated and looked down on him. But now that he's not part of the Heroes Party anymore, he doesn't have to worry about defeating the Demon Lord. Instead, he can travel the world as an adventurer, completing quests along the way. With his new goal in mind, he heads to the Adventurers Guild, where he signs up to become an adventurer. But he's informed that he'll need to complete a trial quest before he's allowed to join. His trial consists of slaughtering goblins and gathering gems that are dropped when they perish. This quest proves to be rather easy, even for a weak beast tamer like Rain. Suddenly, Rain hears a scream coming from elsewhere within the forest. He rushes over, only to find a helpless woman being attacked by a giant demon tiger. Rain stabs the tiger in an attempt to save the girl, but his knife breaks and he's knocked back. Knowing that he has no way out, he urges the woman to run away and leave him behind. But rather than run, she surprisingly leaps into the air and dive kicks the tiger, defeating it with a single blow. Rain is shocked by the woman's overwhelming power. He catches her as she collapses due to exhaustion. But he hears her stomach growl and realizes that she's just hungry. He gives her some food, and she introduces herself as Kanade. She is a cat spirit, a rare creature considered one of the ultimate species. These are species that are incredibly powerful. Cat spirits in particular can't use magic, but have enhanced combat abilities. Kanade goes on to explain that cat spirits usually reside deep in the mountains, but she was bored and decided to go out and travel the world. Rain tells her about himself too, and explains how he was kicked out of the Heroes Party. Kanade immediately gets angry on his behalf, because she knows that he's a good guy who deserves better. But Rain tells her that it's okay, and that getting kicked out was only fair because he truly was useless. But now that he understands his weaknesses, he can grow stronger. She decides that if he's not going to be mad about it, then she's not going to be mad about it either. But she tells him that he's not weak at all. In fact, she believes he's incredibly powerful. She goes on to explain how, when they first met, she had a strange feeling that Rain was actually a beast tamer powerful enough to tame her. Rain had never even considered the possibility of taming an ultimate species, as it's something considered near impossible. But Kanade tells him to believe in himself and to try to tame her. With her consent, he successfully forms a contract with her. A seal appears on Kanade's hand to prove their bond. With this, Rain realizes that he has the power to tame ultimate species, which makes him hopeful for the future as there are several other powerful kinds of ultimate species for him to tame, each with their own unique abilities and skill sets. But before they can head back to town, Rain needs to finish his trial, which requires him to gather medicinal herbs. He tames a bunny and commands it to go and gather more bunnies. He then tames the whole group of bunnies and makes them go fetch the medicinal herbs for him. Kanade is shocked by this display, as she's never seen a beast tamer able to do what he's done. Most beast tamers would only be able to tame one animal and give it very simple commands. Additionally, Kanade explains that Rain has already tamed her, so he shouldn't even be able to tame any other creature. Although she knew he was amazing, Kanade had no idea that Rain was this powerful. They then return to town so Rain can turn in his trial quest, and he officially becomes an adventurer. He's given an F-rank identification card and some money, but not enough to afford lodging, so he'll need to complete more quests. Upon leaving the Adventurers Guild, he runs into a guy who harasses Kanade because it's his first time seeing a cat spirit. He tells Kanade to come with him, but she says that she belongs to Rain, her master. He's surprised that someone as weak-looking as Rain would be able to tame an ultimate species, and laughs in their faces. He then challenges Rain to arm wrestling to prove that he's stronger, the winner of which will get Kanade. Rain doesn't care if someone badmouths him, but he refuses to stand by and do nothing when someone harasses his catgirl waifu. So Rain agrees to the challenge, even though he doesn't believe he's strong enough to win. But to everyone's surprise, Rain immediately slams the man's hand down against the table, breaking both the table and the man's hand. Rain is as shocked as the rest of the crowd. But Kanade explains to Rain that after taming her, he gained her strength, so he's now as strong as a cat spirit. With the harasser out of the way, they can begin their adventure, and Kanade is particularly excited to go on her first quest. But her enthusiasm is short-lived, as she finds out that their first quest is to gather medicinal herbs, something that bunnies are much better at doing than her. Before they return to town to turn in the quest, Kanade hears screams coming from far away. The two rush over to the screams, only to find an old man surrounded by a gang of thugs. They are members of the Ebon Fang Gang, a criminal organization infamous for wreaking havoc across the land. With no other choice, Rain leaps in to fight the thugs, while Kanade protects the old man. Rain is surprisingly skilled and manages to defeat each thug, one after the other. Kanade was initially worried that Rain's rapid increase in power could corrupt him and cause him to self-destruct, but she's surprised to see how quickly he's adjusted to his new strength. Her heart begins to pound faster and faster, and she can't seem to look away as she watches Rain defeat the thugs with ease. After the fight, the old man explains that he had hired a group of heroes to escort him, but that they fled as soon as the thugs arrived. The old man then urges Rain and Kanade to run away and forget about him, because the Ebon Fang gang will stop at nothing to kill the duo if they find out about them. Rain decides that the solution is simple. He just has to apprehend the remaining gang members before they get a chance to hurt anyone else. Once they arrive at the hideout, Rain reveals that he plans to tame bees and use them to sting the gang members, which will paralyze them for a few hours, while Kanade goes into town and alerts the police. Meanwhile, we see members of the heroes' party running away from something. It's revealed that they were the ones hired to escort the old man but bailed on him as soon as the thugs arrived. The two girls chastise the new beast tamer that they hired with for this mission, telling him that he's weak and useless, and that he's an idiot for only taming one animal to scout out the area, instead of 10 or 20. The beast tamer looks at them with complete confusion, and explains that most beast tamers can only tame one beast, and that taming 10 or more is just impossible. Upon hearing this, the girls start to wonder if perhaps Rain was actually an exceptional beast tamer, but they refuse to believe that Rain could be anything more than trash, and instead choose to believe that the beast tamer they hired is simply lying to them. In order to maintain their reputation, they threaten the beast tamer and force him to take responsibility for them abandoning the old man. Meanwhile, Rain sends in his army of bees to sting the thugs. Kanade arrives soon after with some villagers to help apprehend the thugs. But before they have a chance to escape the hideout, a group of C-rank king lizards appear. Rain orders the civilians to retreat with the gang members, while he and Kanade fight off the monsters. The villagers wait outside of the cave, praying and hoping that their heroes return safely. Moments later, Rain and Kanade walk out of the cave with a few scratches on them, but they're mostly unharmed. The villagers are in complete awe of the duo's exceptional skill, and they bombard Rain and Kanade with compliments. Rain is happy to be acknowledged for once in his life, and thinks back to how his old party used to berate him and make him feel useless. But he's proud of who he is now and who he's becoming. Rain looks at Kanade and says that with her by his side, he can do anything. Be sure to subscribe and leave a comment if you want part 2. Thank you so much for watching.